Okay, we are live. Isn't that wonderful? Well, I guess that depends on who you ask, but here we are. Um, why do the alt right and the red pill bros and those people love AI slop? I am just asking the question because there seems to be a trend. There seems to be a certain kind of people driving this forward more than others. Now, I generalize. I get that, but it's interesting. So let's talk about it, and let me ask you guys if you have seen the same trend, if you have the same impression. Yeah, let me just say hello and good morning and good evening. Depends on where you are. KP Heathen, hi there. Kimi, Diablo Blanca, Ricardo, Angela, GB. Um, yeah, I I must admit I saw a video and now I can't remember which channel. I'm sorry, but basically it was about what I'm going to talk about now. Um, but I think that at this point, not only can this trend be observed, but it can also be explained and understood. And I'll try to connect the dots here. Being an artist myself, I think I get what is going on here. So, AI slop, if you didn't know, AI slop is a term, it's a good term. It's used on AI generated content, videos, images, text, and it's everywhere. It is everywhere. It's it's rapidly ruining this channel here, YouTube. So they're going to have to do something about it because eventually people will lose interest. So they're going to have to understand that they have made mistakes. YouTube, that being YouTube, have made mistakes when it comes to how they are going to deal with AI. They're going to have to restrict it, and that's there's no way around it because people will leave the platform if this continues. But let's put that aside now. AI slop is just it's a kind of, have you seen the videos where they are in the middle of a medieval village, for instance, and this AI slop videos get suggested to me because on my main channel my content there is mainly the Viking Age. So the YouTube algorithm, in its infinite stupidity, um, believes that I'm interested in watching AI generated videos. And as I've said before, if you know a little bit about history, you can point out like a million errors in the images that those videos are showing. Now, I have never clicked on one, but what I'm sure you know this. Um, if you have the cursor pointed at the thumbnail, it starts kind of showing the video. You don't have to click on it, and that's you know it's rewriting history, and it's problematic because a lot of people out there think that that's how it was. That's our past we're looking at there, but it's not okay. And yes, we also these fake videos with animals, and yeah, I've seen some examples of those as well. And this is AI Slop, you know. Hi there, horror business. Good to see you all here. Now, so I think that having been a video creator for a long time, I think I can see a trend now. There are some people out there who seem to be more eager than others to use AI. AI generated videos, AI generated images, AI generated content in general. Okay. There are some people out there who seems to think that this is the best fucking thing that ever happened to humanity. And I must say, it seems to be the so-called alt-right, and I just call them the red pill bros. You know who I'm talking about. And I don't know, have you seen the same trend? I'm not saying those are the only ones who use AI slop, AI. That's not what I'm saying, but it seems to be like they really love it. They think it's the best thing ever, you know. Horror businesses, I block AI art pages on Instagram. Yeah, good. What I do here on YouTube, if I get suggested a video, an AI from an AI channel, I click on the options, and I don't click on the thumbnail, but I click on the options there, and I choose "Do not show me this channel." It says you can choose that. So you give a signal to the algorithm that you are not interested in that channel. Do not show me those videos from that channel again. I do that every time I see it. Okay, so I think I can see a trend here. The alt-right and the red pill bros and those people, they really love AI. And here's the thing. I think it is because they hate art. And they hate art for the same reason as they would be bullying people in the schoolyard. Okay, yes, I generalize here, but here's the thing. They hate art because they do not understand the artistic process. They do not understand artistic expression. They do not understand art, and people have a tendency to hate what they do not understand. And this is why you will see them ridicule the same people who are now using AI to generate AI slop videos. I believe the same people will share typically videos of art that they think is ugly, art they think is stupid, and they will say, "Oh, are we paying for this with our taxpayers' money?" and so on. And again, art is not supposed to be pretty. That's a good. If you point at art or expressions of art and you say, "Well, I don't like that, it's not pretty." Look at classic art, so much better. If you do that, you do not understand art. I'm sorry, but art is not supposed to please you. It's not supposed to be beautiful and pretty. That's not art. That's something different. So I think there's a mechanism there. And the same people will also say that we should not support art with taxpayers' dollars or money. Okay, I am against that. I think investing in art is not talking about big installations, multi-million-dollar installations. I'm talking about investing in art so that your culture and the creativity in your country can blossom. I think that's a good investment, because we have examples of regimes where that is not being done, and where the only art displayed and the only art that gets attention is the so-called art that is commercial enough at the moment, or the art that pleases the government. Think the Soviet Union, think North Korea, think Nazi Germany. So we need to. This is. I get it. This is not a popular message, and I will get a lot of hate for this. I know how it works, but I don't care. You should know that by now. So that's one part of the story, right? Now, I'll just add something here. Someone who can spend millions upon millions of dollars celebrating his own fucking birthday, taxpayers' money, should not ever say a word about how taxpayers' money is wasted on supporting the artistic expression. So let's move on. It is interesting that the same people, I think, who do not understand art are so eager to use what they call AI art. They are so eager to use AI to generate videos. There's a connection there. There is a connection there. And I think it's interesting. There was like the Israeli Defense Forces, or whatever it's called, ID. Yeah. They have you seen the Studio Ghibli AI? That's just stealing. And they shared an AI generated cartoon or something in the style of Studio Ghibli. And when you do that, you're basically just being a fucking idiot. So it's because it's stealing, but I'm not expecting any ethical or moral standard at all from those people in the Israeli Defense Forces, or whatever they call themselves these days. I'm not expecting that, of course, but it's just sorry, can't speak. It's just an example. And people close to Trump in America, they seem to be very eager to share AI generated images. Trump himself is doing that himself as the Pope, very short time after the Pope died. So it's tasteless. It's tasteless, but it shouldn't surprise anyone, because if you think that it's okay to use AI in such a way, and if you think that AI slop is cool, then you would not understand what I'm saying now. It goes right above no, it goes above your head with quite some distance, right? So and I talked with my son about this. He's a very intelligent young man, and we talked about art some time ago, and he was annoyed by the people who are pointing at art, modern art, for instance, and they say that's not art, that's not art, that's ugly, so it's not art. Well, that's not, then those people do not understand art. and we very much agreed on that. Now, would I have modern art on my wall back home? No, I don't like it. Doesn't mean that it's not valuable, you know. Um, Now, don't get me started on like a banana taped to a wall being sold for millions of dollars. Is that art? I don't think so. What that is an investment, actually, and people invest in art, and it's a little bit difficult to understand how that works. Taxes come into play here. In Norway, for instance, investment gains on art is tax exempt. So, okay, so that's a factor here. Okay, so you basically you invest in an object. So that's a bit complicated, and I don't want to get into it now. So that's a different story. But that needs to be understood as well. You know. Now, I have talked a lot about AI slop lately, and it's because it's everywhere, you know, and people are using it to make videos, and some of the or the fastest growing channels on YouTube are purely AI generated videos, as far as I know, and that's a problem. That is a problem. Now, something I heard the other day, I probably should have investigated this um, uh, much earlier, because it's not an entirely new thing. But a, a view on YouTube, you know how long you need to watch. Someone needs to watch a video before it counts as a view in your statistics. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And I believe that explains how the view numbers have gone down dramatically for most YouTubers, because I think it did not used to be that way. I think it was only, just a few seconds, and that counted as a view. But 30 seconds. Now, why 30 seconds? I will connect that with the AI slop thing. Now, 30 seconds, I believe, and I pay the monthly fee, so I don't see the ads. I think if you pay with your time watching the ads, which is basically how I make money on YouTube, the people do watch the ads. I think you see a video first before the video plays. No, you see an ad before the video starts playing, I think. And then after 30 seconds, they play another ad. They should not do that. I hate that, but there is nothing I can do. Even if I demonetize, which would basically I couldn't make videos if I was demonetized. But if I did that, they would still add ads to the videos. So I can't control that. The only difference is that then you don't get your cut off of the ad money. But 30 seconds, that's how long the video will play before they insert an ad, as far as I know. That is the reason. That must be the reason why a view now is not just a click. You have to have someone watching for 30 seconds until the second ad starts playing. YouTube has always been about one thing only. It's to get people watching as many ads as possible. That's YouTube. That's what YouTube is doing. So, and I can't change that. I can't do anything about that. Please do not use ad blockers. If you do that, you are killing the channel you're watching. It's the worst thing you can do to a channel, to use ad blockers. If you do value what I do here on YouTube, you should not use ad blockers, because you're damaging my YouTube presence. They notice, they know you're doing that. So, but anyway, what does AI slop has to do with this? Well, recent research has shown that AI is better at keeping your attention than human beings. An AI generated video is better at keeping you watching, at least for a short period of time, than I am, than you will be. I can't compete with that. They will throw images and words and music at you that is geared to hit your dopamine. What's it called? Receptors, not receptors. Your well, the parts of your brain that produce dopamine, right? They will do that. That's what they are doing. Okay. So this 30-second rule is bad for human beings, human creators, but it's good for AI slop videos because they are better at keeping you watching for 30 seconds. Right? So you see how difficult this has become now. You see how damaging AI is already, and we're just seeing the start of it now. So, I'm sorry, but this is actually a big problem, and I wish people would just refuse watching AI generated videos. Don't click on them just to see what it is, even. Just, I don't know if you go to the option there when you see the thumbnail and you choose do not show me this channel. I'm not interested in this channel or something like that. And if everyone did that, then we wouldn't have this problem. So yeah, but anyway, I think this is going to be a bigger problem. It is also already a bigger problem for those making content for young people, because I think there is a lot more resistance against AI among those, let's say, 40 plus years. And my audience is predominantly older than 40 years. Because it's quite evenly distributed from in the 30s up to 60s. So that means that most of my audience is actually above 40 years old. And that's a benefit, I guess. That's a good thing. Okay. Let's see here. Pyro XX Man is using AI. You see, when you use AI to create images, as you write there, you are feeding the machine. So you're not fighting it. Just so you know. Thundernose says, with AI, we won't know what is real or not. YouTube and the internet will be changed forever. Yeah. Let's see here. No, I'm not claiming to be obviously an expert on AI. I'm not. I'm just telling you how this is how this is from the view of an artist, right? So stealth mode says over, yes, over 40 here, Gen Xer. Now Gen X, we won't use the what do you call these square images with lots of dots in them? Is that what they call a QR code? It's like you go to a restaurant, which I never do, but go to a restaurant and scan the QR code to order food. No, I won't do that. If that's what they offer, I will leave. It's like that's Gen X, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's an interesting thought. I just came up with this. It just popped up here, an idea. You know how AI, it kind of looks different. It still looks different. The typically the background is too smooth. When I'm out filming, it won't be perfect. The background will not be. Well, it will be detailed because it's the real world. But in AI, it's so smooth, and so that's. It used to be like they had 12 fingers and so on, but they seem to not do that anymore, these AI models. But you can still spot it because the background is too perfect. It's too smooth, right? I'll share with you a scary thought. You know how, well, if you didn't know, I can tell you that in photography and videography, there are trends. Some time ago, the background should be it should be blurry, the background. And videographers, they obsessed about getting that blurry background. Can you remember that? That's not so fashionable anymore, but it should be really, really blurry, the background. Maybe that had something to do with, vlogging was a big thing back then, before YouTube killed vlogging totally. So you would walk around with your camera among other people, and you blurred the background. And blurry background is used a lot in portrait photography. So AI has a distinct look, that polished background. I think that what could happen, maybe it's happening already, is that real video creators, videographers, will try to mimic the look of AI generated videos. You get what I'm saying? They might try to mimic that smooth background that you see in, not blurry background, but that smooth background in AI generated videos. And if that becomes a trend, it will be more difficult to separate between real videos and AI videos. So, yeah, GB, I hope not. I agree, but it could happen. What It's just something I thought about now. What if real videographers start mimicking the look of AI videos? Why would they do that? I think they would do that because they are observing how the AI generated videos get a lot more views. As I said, I have my Viking clothes, my Viking gear. I make bows, some axes behind me there. And these are all real images. I buy some of that, I make some of that, and I bring it with me sometimes when I make my Viking videos. because I want it to be real, I want it to be authentic, and I want it to look the right way. If I talk about something from the Viking age, I want to look like a Viking, so to speak. um, it's authentic, it's real. Now, I'm not, I don't think I've ever said that I'm a Viking, but but it's like I'm trying to create that image in front of the camera, right? Now, why don't I just do that using AI? Well, because of ethics and morals, and because it will be slop if AI does it. And we need to keep fighting the good fight. We need to fight against the rewriting of our past. And AI at this moment is rewriting our past. So, yeah, got off a little bit on another track there, but let's see here. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Maynard says, guys, this is the very beginning. It seems like people don't understand that it's working itself out, and you will not be able to identify it soon enough. You may be right. And Mike says, what is your response to people who claim that AI-generated art is authentic as long as it has some degree of human manipulation? My response to that is that anyone who claims that is a fucking idiot. And I'm trying not to use very strong words here, So I'll just call them fucking idiots, because I want to say what I want to say about those people are much, much worse. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. I'll just scrolling up a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing. You see, here's what I think. I don't know this because I'm not an expert on AI, but obviously, but I have made hundreds upon hundreds of videos, and I'm not an expert videographer either. And actually, there was a time when I thought I need to get really, really good at making videos, like the technical aspect. But then I realized that, the imperfections are what when I watch a video on YouTube, I like the imperfections. As long as the audio is okay, I like the imperfections. And I do not like to watch polished videos. I hate those. I hate those. I like the imperfections. So I thought, well, if I like the imperfections better, the imperfect videos, if I like those videos better than the polished videos, I'm probably not the only one thinking like that. Why would I try to make my videos polished? Well, of course, there are sometimes I enjoy the creative process of filming angles and so on. I really like that sometimes, and I try to, and you can identify that in my videos sometimes, not here, but on my main channel. And I hope that adds value. But also, I will leave in the imperfections. I will leave that because I think it's valuable. It's important to have that. Now, a link to my other channels are in the video description. They are always in the video descriptions. Yeah, so you can also find all my, I shouldn't really do like this, you know. You can see now my website address up in the corner there. So you can go there and you will find, I put my videos there on the blog. So yeah, so the imperfections, I think those are really valuable. And I think I'm not the only one who thinks that way. And I think that AI might have a hard time doing that. I think that AI might not even want to go that way. I hope I'm correct. And but I have to say that, you know, maybe AI will understand that the imperfections adds value to the video, and then they will just create fake imperfections. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, when it comes to AI, what I do know is that there is a generative or regenerative AI, and there is AI. And I don't think AI is evil or bad if you use it, Mr. Sorpos, to tweak your own photos in Photoshop. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't do that myself. Well, I'm lying a little bit. I do tweak very rarely, but I remember now I was standing in the field up here and in my Viking gear, and I was making a thumbnail and just a screenshot, and I thought, you know, there was this modern fence behind me, a white line, you know, the electrical fence. And I thought, that's very annoying. So I took this tool in Photoshop that you can erase it out like you would do on a yeah, you know, you can erase it and put some green there instead. And I did that. I don't, but that's not AI. that's that's not AI. That's just removing that little white line, the modern fence there in the background, because it really annoyed me. So, but I don't think tweaking photos in Photoshop is even if Photoshop is saying that they use AI to help you doing that. I don't think that's bad, because it's not the same as, and I think that's just AI. And what we are really talking about is it called regenerative or generative? Regenerative or generative AI? Um, I That's when you type in a sentence and you give some commands and then they create a video. You know, that's obviously very different from tweaking a photography that you took yourself. Yeah. So, yeah, in old photography, it would have been nearly impossible to gracefully remove a wire from a shot. Yeah. Uh, let's see. uh, there is a link in the video description. I can guarantee you, Angela, there is a link in the video description on mobile and on desktop. So that's automatic every time there is a link. Yes, there is. There is. I have checked. There is. So, yeah, AI lacks soul. The same could be said about the people, in the title of this live stream here. I just call them, the alt right, because they hate art. They hate art because I think, as everyone who wants an authoritarian and totalitarian rule, doesn't matter if they're alt right or communists. It's just the same crappy people, basically. They understand one thing about art. They understand that they can't control it, and they understand that art will challenge them. So it's kind of important to understand how this works. So I've had people posting when I've said that, AI might ruin my livelihood. They will type things like "ha ha ha ha" in the comments, and it's because they think it's deserved, that I deserve that, and that musicians and artists in general deserve that, because they can't do art themselves, and they like it when other people are torn down, because they themselves can't build anything, and they can't build themselves up. The only way that these people can elevate themselves is if they step onto the backs of other people who have fallen down, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah. Yeah, Rocky Mountain Bear says, you wouldn't tell an artist what kind of painting you want, then tell everyone, look at this painting I just made. That's called lying. Why is it okay to do that with AI? Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. I'll find a link to my main channel, or hold on. Hold on a little bit. Okay, I'm sorry about the delay. So there is a link, as I said, in the video description. You just have to click more to show more. And here is a link to my main channel. Okay. So that's sorted out. Everything should be okay. Right. No, sorry. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. You will have to You will have to be a little bit patient with me. I am sorry. That was the wrong channel. I will do it again. I'll try again. Okay. No, that was correct, actually. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. Are you still here? Some people left. It's not easy. But yeah. But I was getting to the end of this live stream anyway. As always, we try to find solutions. And, the question is, what can we do? Well, thank you, Angela. Thank you. And what can we do? Well, don't use it. Don't use AI. But then again, we need to be a little bit realistic because, as I often say, I'm using AI now because I'm on YouTube, and YouTube is heavily integrated with AI. So you can't really get away from that. Now, well, I'm not using AI, but I'm kind of feeding the machine by uploading this live stream. Do I think that YouTube will not use my videos to train their or Google's AI? No, I think they will steal whatever they want to steal. That's what I think. But we can do things like when you see a video being suggested to you, and you can spot that it's an AI generated channel or a channel with AI generated videos. You just choose do not show me this channel or not interested. And if we all do that, then the algorithm will start understanding, that this is not content that should be suggested to people. And then people would stop making the AI videos. So it's that collective power that we have if we come together and actually do these things. But the problem is, of course, that AI is it's like fast food. It's like eating. It works like if you ask a little child, do you want sweets and candy for dinner, or do you want let's say something that kids generally don't like? Do you want fish and potatoes? Someone will write now, oh, my kids, they love fish and potatoes. But you get my point there, okay? They will say, oh, I will have sweets and candy for dinner. Most of them. AI is a little bit like that. Do you want to go through years of learning the craft of your art form? Let's say it's videography, let's say it's music, let's say it's writing books. Do you want to go through years upon years of mastering that craft? Or do you just want to have it done in 5 minutes using regenerative or generative AI? Now, a lot of people, they will say that, oh, I'll just use AI. So, yeah. So let's see. Angela says they get so mad they actually think they made the music video themselves. And I've seen some very funny examples where these people who actually call themselves AI artists. That's sort of the definition of irony. They get mad when people use the image that they created, and I've seen some people who are claiming, "Oh, they stole my art. They stole my AI art." And I think if at that point I mean, what can you say? You know, it's yeah, that's that's insane. It's at a different level of stupidity. Yeah. So it's like the thief goes into a house and um, he steals something. He steals the TV. He puts it somewhere, and someone else steals it, and he goes to the police. You know, oh, this someone stole the TV I stole. Please help me. You know. So, yeah. Yes. Okay. Oh wow, Martin. That's an awesome donation. Thank you so much. That is just awesome. I'll just try to thank you. I'll try to translate your it's in Danish, and you're telling me that you're happy that I'm doing these live streams, and greetings from I don't know what fetre is in Norwegian. But yeah, thank you. That's awesome, wonderful. Yeah. But I was going to kind of end this live stream here. I have a video on the main channel coming up tomorrow. I say tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, it is tomorrow, even for people in America, in the USA, and Canada, and those places. Yeah, usual time on the main channel. A link there on the top, pinned comment to my main channel. Yes. Today, no, tomorrow in. No, it's tomorrow for both of us. It's tomorrow night, Norwegian time, and tomorrow 1 p.m., 12 minutes past 1 p.m. East Coast USA time. 1:12 p.m. East Coast USA tomorrow. Does that make sense? No, you know what? You got me all confused. It's in about. Let's do hours instead. It's in about 30. It's in 35 hours. It's Friday now, so it's not tomorrow morning. It's 24 hours, but another 11 hours, 24 and 11, 35. In 35 hours. 35 hours. It's probably a rubbish time because it's 4th of July. But yeah, that's how it is. Yes. Okay. Rubbish time for uploading on video. I mean, happy upcoming 4th of July. You know what? I got all confused with the time zones and dates and all of that, so I'll just give up. But okay. Have a wonderful evening or morning, whatever it is, and we'll talk soon.